Okay, guys, this is Maiku here. How you doing tonight? I'm gonna stream some Freedom Planet here, and hopefully, Bwarch will be back, and we'll be joined by Lily, aka Pikabread, in a few minutes here. So, what's going on? How you doing? My phone is going off. I need to turn that off or set it to vibrate. If you'll excuse me for just a moment. What a way to start a stream, huh? I know. I am so not a professional, but yeah, I'm doing it anyway. Just because I can. Anyway. There we go. Okay. Now, Lunatic Quark is in the chat. I see you, Lunatic Quark. How's it going? Hope you're doing okay. Oh, that sounds like Bwarch is back. Maybe.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
Hello. Are you completely unmuted? Everybody's here? Everybody's here and everything?
Well, it's just you and me right now.
Sounds good.
Course.
So, hello there, everybody who may be listening or may be listening to the archive as it stands.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the final dreadnought. Round one.
Alright, what's up, guys?
Hey, Lily! You made it!
I made it.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm doing really well. How's the stream going so far?
Just actually got started here. I'm in the final dreadnought as
Awesome.
Carol. So Lily, I wanted to ask you, how is your friend doing after the last stream?
Really, really well, actually. We made over the goal. I think we might have gone somewhere maybe around 100 over. I don't know the final tally, but they're good and they have money to go over into next month, and they actually did land a job today. So
All right, awesome.
it's going really well. So I'm really glad you helped me pitch in there.
Good to hear. Absolutely fantastic to hear, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Also, hi, Lily.
Yeah, hello. How have you been doing, Bwarch?
I have been doing very, very swell. Today was mostly just a day where I was doing a little bit of editing, finalizing a PC build for a friend, and my mother took me out for a McDonald's, and that was nice.
And I died.
Oh no.
Of the McDonald's? I mean, like, I suppose that makes sense.
It can only take so much.
I'm still kind of upset over what happened to the McChicken.
Hmm?
Oh yeah? What happened to the McChicken?
Oh, if you don't know, I'm not telling you. It's pretty nasty.
Fair enough, because I actually... well, I'm a fan of, like, the spicy McChicken.
Oh yeah, I love that sandwich very much. Oh.
They did change something with the way that they make it.
No, it was something somebody did that they shouldn't have done. And,
Oh, that.
yes.
Oh, that's totally fine. Whatever. It just happened to them. I don't care.
Wasn't that like a generated tweet or something? I forget the story exactly.
I have no idea. I barely even know what you're talking about, so this is fun.
It's a bit disgusting.
I mean, like, you may as well say it. I mean, like, as long as we're talking
No,
about it.
it's not work safe.
Okay. Wait! Oh, now I know what you're talking about! Oh, can we not mention that? Ah, yes. The only reason why I know is because Lucajin, a really popular Let's Player, was going nuts over it on Twitter.
Hey, Sergeant Whip.
Yeah, hi.
How are you?
Oh god, that's the one thing I forgot about. I forgot to have your chat open so I can actually see what people are saying about me.
How could you?
Nobody's saying anything about you yet.
Yet. I shall see these posters for what they are, and I shall ban them on the spot with my banhammer. My mighty, mighty banhammer that I wield as Thor's Mjolnir.
Calm down there, Shakespeare.
And I got smashed. That's always great.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, like I am so smashed right now, like totally.
Do you think people still listen to Smash Mouth, like, unironically?
No.
I wouldn't imagine it. Because I was just thinking, do you think Smash Mouth fans call themselves Smashers?
Yeah, so don't delay, act now. Supplies are running out. God damn it.
I mean, Smash Mouth is one of those bands where I think they're kind of dumb, but their music isn't, like, unlistenable or anything.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay. My internet disconnected for just a second there.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
wow.
Oh wow, why?
I didn't expect that.
Like, so I used to have this problem to where it would disconnect for just like 2 seconds at a time. Like, very, very strangely. Like, not even for like a long time. Like, we just like have a little hiccup, basically. And that apparently is coming back, so that's very fun. Like, that makes me really, really happy to be using the provider and the technology that I am. And not at all pissed off, but, you know. If there's any one thing that I hate in this world, it's internet infrastructure. Because it sucks. And
It's
it needs to be
Really,
upgraded.
a lot of internet providers are really, you know, bending the let's not have monopolies idea.
Yes, nobody needs to be a rich Uncle Pennybags. And hey, I got an extra life. Oh,
I'm happy for you.
Congratulations.
alright. Oh, it's mini boss time. I remember you. I remember how much of a pain you were.
Oh yeah, it was this one that you had such a hard time on. This was the one that you took like 2 streams to do, wasn't it?
I think so.
Oh, this will be fun. Let's see if you can do it in like one shot this time. Hopefully in
Nope.
a timely manner. Oh no, Maiku. Really, really fun. Favorite part of the show. Just watching Maiku die over and over again.
I mean, these streams really are like a podcast with like an extra masochistic approach.
Absolutely.
That's how we market your streams, like. Not
Excellent
enough,
marketers.
not enough masochism in your podcast. We can fix that.
So, in the news today, as we were doing a podcast.
Yes, just go ahead.
But actually, there was a couple of interesting news bits today. Mario Run was announced. Thank you, Nintendo, for leaping to the lowest of the low.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. The problem I have with Mario Run isn't that they're like capitalizing on big market or anything. My problem with it is that it just literally uses the same models and like tiles from New Super Mario Bros. Wii U.
And they're the
just
worst
straight up-
models!
I mean, I don't dislike it, but I will say they're really like least interesting.
I hate the new Super Mario Bros. Models, and Nintendo
Like, when you
is
have-
in love with it. They
Yeah, like-
upgrade everything.
Yahoo! Yahoo!
Like when you have Yoshi's Woolly World out in the market, and you're still using like the most vanilla, boring assets you can. It's like, okay. I mean, like I get it, right? They're a big company, and they're not risk takers at all. But it just feels so lazy.
Honestly. I mean, like, you don't get any more risky than outputting for your launch, like Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube.
That was their, yeah, that is probably the riskiest move. And I mean, to be fair, that's why the GameCube didn't have the best initial sales, as far as I understand it.
Oh my god.
But that's
I
such a
hate
good
that
game.
so much.
I love Luigi's Mansion.
I love the GameCube. Like,
love
it
the
always makes me
GameCube.
sad because, like, with Nintendo, like, I understand, like, why, to a certain degree, why I hate so much of what they do. Because when I love what they do, it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
Because I love the Wii U, and I love the GameCube. And guess what? Those are two of their worst selling consoles.
Well, to be fair, the Wii U made a comeback in recent years.
But it's nothing compared to the 3DS.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I fucking hate the 3DS with a passion.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We've gone into pogo stick mode.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely. My favorite of modes. The game isn't shit if it doesn't have a boss doing a pogo stick move. You heard it here first, folks.
Redefining what makes a video game boss a video game boss.
Oh no, Ninja Star! Oh shit! Ninja Star mode is not fun for me.
Not at all.
It is a terrible thing.
Also, just for everybody to mark on their calendars, the Tokyo Game Show is coming up on the 15th of this month, and it's kind
God
of
damn.
expected that Nintendo might actually be revealing the NX there.
Ooh.
Oh, I game overed.
So I will be watching that if they have a live stream of it. It's a Japanese event, so I don't know how much interesting coverage I'll be able to watch there, but
It's a shame that Nintendo hasn't really done anything that has made me interested in them again.
so the thing is that, like, lately, such a love-hate relationship with what Nintendo as of late, because, like, I love a couple things on the Wii U, like, a lot. Like, Pikmin 3 is one of the best experiences that I've played in a long time. Like, I loved that game on the Wii U, and it made, like, fantastic use of the Wii U gamepad. Like, exactly what I thought the Wii U gamepad should be used for, with just, like, a map with some functions that you could use with it. And not, like, going, like, full gimmick of using it.
The thing about Nintendo is that they sell themselves as a very varied and, I guess the word, innovative company, but they really aren't. They're not risk takers, and they make a lot of the same kinds of games, which isn't wrong. I mean, their sales are doing well, and
In some ways and not in some ways. I mean, like,
that's true.
the Wii U, when it came out, was revolutionary to a lot of people, and then you had, like, Xbox and Sony quickly following suit after the amazing
Right.
sales that the Wii had, and then they figured out that people were only going to buy, like, one Wii, and then they were done because they're not gamers and they're not going to buy multiple systems.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess the
Which
point
is
I'm
something
trying
that Nintendo had to find out as well.
Right. Definitely. I mean, I think that my point is, like, if you're not interested in a majority of the games that Nintendo makes, they're probably not going to do anything to surprise you. Like, they've had a few interesting games in recent years, and they've definitely had a lot of very solid games in recent years, but they haven't done anything that goes, like, above and beyond into, like, super general audience attraction.
I don't know about that. They're very general audience. Like, a big problem that I have is that a whole lot of the titles are very casual oriented, to where they're
Well, right, because
very
they're
easy,
they're
very easy
continuing to
pick up.
sell to their audience, and that's what's making them money. I guess my point is that, like, anybody, again, who wasn't already interested in what they do isn't going to gain that anytime soon.
And yeah, as Doobie points out in chat, the problem with Wii U was that even from its incursion, that it was poorly advertised,
Oh no.
especially to the audience that they had
We're
picked
on a
up.
news phase, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy.
I love this phase.
I hate this phase. Oh
This is like the Wily phase, as it were.
Oh,
A
boy.
better Wily phase, actually, honestly. Way better.
Well,
I
Um,
played that game recently. It was awful.
I played Mega Man 6 very recently again, and that's probably my favorite. If I'm going to be honest, probably my favorite Mega Man game on the NES. With the exception of like some of its fortress bosses. The final Wily in that game has an attack that's exactly like the one you're referring to, Bwarch, except the hitboxes actually work, and it's so much more bearable as a Mega Man enemy.
Awesome. I actually,
it really goes to show that the Capcom got so much better at developing Mega Man. Like Mega Man 6 is fantastic.
Didn't they go downward like right after that though with Mega Man 7?
A lot of people don't like 7. I really like 7. I wouldn't say it's their best work, but
Well,
they tried to do something new with it, and they tried to fit it to the SNES without like just making it Mega Man X. And I feel like that's a reason a lot of people dislike it. Like there are flaws with it, of course, and I think it's not like, again, because they were moving on to a new console and trying to do classic Mega Man again, it has problems that Mega Man 6 doesn't in some places. But I also feel like it's a lot better in some places. And I think a lot of people who are really harsh on it are harsh on it because it's a new thing, and because it's not like, it doesn't have the same aesthetic of really the old NES games, and it's not like as gritty or as, I feel, really as strong as Mega Man X in general. But I don't think it's a bad game. I feel like it just has some key issues.
Fair enough.
I feel like Mega Man 8 is when they really started to kind of go downhill.
8
And
is the one that's flat out bad.
I'm
Interesting.
gonna be honest, I like 8. I find 8 really interesting. It has a lot of bad parts.
look
The
at
mini
it's
bosses-
Dr. Wiley.
The mini bosses are awful. The cutscenes are actually painful to watch. And the fortress stages have a lot of difficulty balance, but the main game of 8 is strangely enticing to me. Like I think it's still an okay game, but it doesn't really compete just like as a Mega Man experience with the other games.
From what I know, it's basically killed the Mega Man line for a number of years until they actually
after
went
that
back
they
and they
didn't
tried again
come
with
back.
Mega Man
Yeah,
9.
with 9. 9 is a really, really good game.
I've heard a lot of great things about 9. Too bad it's not on a platform that I like.
Yeah, that's kind of the one problem with it, is that they don't. It's like on Wii VC, and that's kind of it.
Well, I have it
also
on
saw it
Xbox
was on the
360.
PS3.
Oh yeah, it was multi-platform, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yes.
Um.
But still not on
Oh dear.
that I like.
Yeah.
I suppose if I really wanted to, I could pull out my Wii and frickin' play it, but
No, don't pull out your weed. Not in the stream. Come on.
God
you win there,
damn.
Maiku.
Or you could just use like Dolphin.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I figured out what I want to do. Problem solved.
But yeah, so 9 is really solid. It has a lot, some things where they were like, let's make it a difficult game, and they went a little bit too far.
Search and whip.
God damn it. The things that make you laugh, Maiku.
I'm a guy. I can't help it.
Mega Man 10, what I saw also on the PS Now service, so it's not only Wii exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again, by the way, but I'm kind of impressed that like Capcom only saw fit to put Mega Man 1 through 6 on Steam. Like, I don't know.
I don't really know. That was like the whole anniversary collection thing. I mean, the thing is, they've been doing that a lot recently. They're like, hey, we haven't made a new Mega Man game in a while. Why don't we release 1 to 6 again for like the 50th time? And then they make like $50, and then they do it again next year. But it's what they do.
Because that's the only thing that's on Steam is the Legacy Collection, which is 1 through 6, and
Mhm.
it's not
there's
even
like a GameCube
particularly
version of it,
great
too.
because, I mean, it was kind of hilarious to me because I was playing through it, and I'm on this beefy PC, and I'm still getting A, lag, and B, like they still have the flickering issue, which I hate.
Apparently, that's just because it's like actually emulating an NES.
Yeah,
And, like,
it's actually just an emulator, which is horrible, and not like a
one,
native port.
Right, like 1 through 3. The reason they flicker so much is because they just handle CPU extremely badly. They're not like super well programmed games just with resource management. But so that's basically a problem that they didn't fix with any re-releases. Except maybe the GameCube one, I don't know.
Like, just hire like an indie developer to like port Mega Man 1 through 6 like natively to the, or Mega Man 1 through 10 really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the thing. Capcom doesn't know what they're doing with Mega Man games anymore. They really just don't. That's
I mean, like, Mega Man is a really, really simple game, and with like all the art assets already created, you could just give an indie game dev a programmer like the game and say, hey, like, we'll give you like 50% of the profits if you port this to Steam, and they would do it, and people would buy that.
Yeah, but
I say just give it to Pyro. See what she can do with it.
Oh, I'm sure she'd handle it great. You haven't seen any of the numerous crashes from Square Root, I'm sure. I like Square Root of -1. It's a funny fan game. It's fun just in general, but like aside from like the actual aesthetic issues and the like some of the just general like this is an amateur game flaws, the programming is not great. Like, I commend Pyro for what she's done. The fact that she actually managed to complete that game is incredible, but it crashes a lot. Like, and some things it feels like just weren't tested, like the Wily machine, I'm not sure if that's just Raocow issue, though, because apparently other people haven't had that problem, where, like, if you die to the second or third phase and then come back to his room, he just doesn't spawn, and you have to restart. It's odd. I'll say that much.
Can be very fun, like
yeah,
that.
I can't claim to know how it works, and I can't say that she's done like a bad job. I just know that that game has some issues.
Well, it was fun to watch Raocow play that game, so...
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's a very fun game. Like, I mean, it can be frustrating in parts, but it's definitely fun to watch.
So yeah, just like... Let some indie devs just like port the games for you and just reap the profits. It just seems obvious to me.
But again, like...
Kind of like what Sega did with frickin' Sonic CD, although that was definitely like an indie dev like approaching them, but still, like, the guy like ported Sonic CD to like iPhone and Android all on his own, and then Sega picked him up.
But again, I think it's like in part just because Capcom literally doesn't know what they're doing with Mega Man right now, and then they're just another.
They like it in some ways. Like I almost just feel like they want to like move on to something else and just keep on making like Street Fighter.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also like again, they're kind of a safe company, so.
Oh, no Lynch is in the chat.
Yeah, hi Lynch.
Momentarily, they're probably already gone even.
No.
Because they said that they couldn't handle the stream tonight.
Well, don't worry, it'll be on my YouTube.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then you get to hear me say, hi, No Lynch, how are you?
The content we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
Which game were you asking that we were talking about, Doobie, by the way?
Square Root of -1, I think.
Yes, the Mega Man fan game that was made. Do you know what engine that was made in, by the way?
Game Maker.
Ah, fair enough.
She's been using that for a long time.
Oh, this is kind of silly to say on the stream, but for anybody who is an aspiring game developer, there is a huge sale going on for Game Maker on Humble Bundle right now, where they're selling...
They have Studio, which is normally sells for like, I think $2.99?
It's $150.
150, okay. They have it at a pay what you want, so you can get it for $1, and if you chip in like 15, you can also get it for iOS and Android, I believe.
The iOS and Android modules that will allow you to port to those.
Yep, and it's all for charity, of course, because it's Humble Bundle. And it's a really good engine. I can speak from experience that it is very powerful if you know how to use it. I mean, a
Game
lot of
Maker
great
has
games.
honestly like made a bunch of like my
Mhm.
favorite games as of late. It made
Undertale was made in Game
Spelunky,
Maker, Spelunky.
Risk of Rain, Nuclear Throne. Like it has been
Oh, yeah,
like
Nuclear
the
Throne.
premier like game engine as of late for indie
Yeah,
devs.
indie devs have really pushed it forward too. And that makes me really happy because I used it a lot when I was younger too, and it's like a thing that I've just grown to get used to. So the fact that it's making like a huge impact in the indie community lately is really cool. Like, even if you don't think you're gonna use it, I would recommend picking it up now as to not. Like, if you have $1 to spare, because just having that option is incredible.
Doovy is asking if I actually like Risk of Rain because I've talked about disliking that game, and the thing is that I don't know. I love and hate parts of the game. Like I definitely use like Risk of Rain as like a podcast game where I would just throw in a podcast and just play it because it's the most mechanically boring game to where I can just not even think and play through it and beat it. And that's annoying to me that I think of the game like that. And like I find it bullshit how you unlock like power-ups and how it's almost impossible to beat the game at first, and then once you unlock like a decent amount of power-ups, you can just the game fucking easily. But I don't know. I like the concept of Risk of Rain, and the art style and the music are really good. It's just the general execution is a little bit lacking. Like, if it wasn't a roguelike, I would probably love it. That's the thing. Maybe I just don't like roguelikes.
That's fair.
I hate the emphasis on items. I hate the randomization of items. Just, I don't know. It's just a genre that I'm finding that I really don't like, and I've talked about this at length with Doobie.
Yeah, that's super fair. Like, roguelikes are definitely a very, I don't want to say niche genre, but they're a very, I don't know if harsh is really the word, so much as like, they almost are always done in very similar ways to one another, and it doesn't have to be the case, but it makes it very difficult to approach for someone who hasn't played a roguelike before. And if you don't like one roguelike specifically, like for the roguelikeness of it, you're generally not going to like other roguelikes because of that.
Basically. I've tried Isaac and I've tried Risk of Rain thus far. And Isaac I fucking hated, like even more so than Risk of Rain. Because even just like, at least Risk of Rain, like the starting character and the starting weapon is an ass. Whereas with Isaac, the starting weapon and the starting character are indeed ass.
Yeah. Isaac is like, I liked it a lot when I was a bit younger, and I do think it's like a decent game in the genre, but the more I played it, the more I just started to dislike it. I don't really know what it is about it. It's just the gameplay started feeling really repetitive, and like the challenge to me felt illegitimate. Like after a while, I just stopped having fun with it, so I stopped playing it. And that's really all there is to it. I still find roguelikes neat. Like I really, really like God, what's that name? Rogue Legacy is a very fun game. I don't think it's for everybody, but it's a roguelike that doesn't punish you too badly for dying, because it has like, you keep all the items and armor and weapons you buy, and there's tons of like class customization you can do with it. And every boss you defeat, it stays dead. You just have to like beat all of them to beat the game. That's all. And then there's a new game plus. So like it's not very harsh as a roguelike. I feel like the roguelike aspects of it, not all of them are necessary, but what it does makes sense to me, and I had a lot of fun playing through it. I can't think of too many other roguelikes that I played at length, but I know I have Enter the Gungeon, which I've heard is good. I just haven't tried it, and the same with Nuclear Throne.
I'll definitely give Rogue Legacy a try maybe sometime. I think I own it. Maybe I don't.
Oh,
It goes on sale like so much.
I would mind, Doobie. I would definitely mind right now.
What am I trying to say? The thing to note for why I dislike roguelikes especially is because, like, I'm a huge platformer guy. And just that philosophy is very counter to roguelikes. Like, you could view, like, platformers as, like, the good to roguelikes evil, honestly. They're similar but polar opposites in execute. right?
What genre?
Platformers.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. At least like your typical like linear platformer.
I've played your Sonics, I've played your Marios, I've played your Raymans, and I love those games a lot. I've played Mega Man X. I love platformers quite a bit. But then going from that to where, like, the thing is that in a platformer, the only thing that matters is, like, your own skill most of the time. Like, it doesn't matter what you get.
Usually. I feel like they're like platformer is such a bendable genre that there are definitely exceptions, but like in your typical Mario, like there's no unlocks or anything. It's start to finish. Each level has their own power-ups, and it's up to you to get better to beat the game. Unless it's like Mario 1 and the game is just broken.
Mario 1 was awful. Mario 3 and World are where it's at, especially World.
World is an extremely solid game.
World is better than 3. I don't care. Fuck off all you nostalgia guys.
I can't really speak. I've played 3. I didn't play very much, so I can't really speak for a solid opinion on it. But
everybody's always like 3 was better than World. No, I'm sorry. No.
I mean, I like World more personally because A, I played it more. B, I played it when I was a child extensively, and C, I just think it's a super solid game. But you know, I think there are very few older Mario.
I Want to Be the Guy is just a terrible game in general, though.
I Want to Be the... Okay, here's the thing about I Want to Be the Guy. Everybody praises it as like this game that started the like 1001 Spike Super Meat Boy trend. It's bad.
It's bad.
Kayan admits it's bad. It's a terrible game. It's not. It involves like even if you're a fan of like the brutal platformer genre, which is fair. I do enjoy a game of that once in a while. Objectively speaking, it's just not well built. Like, it's programmed awfully. Like, things were basically arbitrarily hidden with no thought put behind it. The traps
it's basically
are
designed
just,
to
like,
piss you off.
I mean, and that's the purpose. Like, according to Kayan himself, he once like played like a super intentionally frustrating Japanese game. He thought it was stupid and said maybe I bet I could do better. And then made I Want to Be the Guy. It's not made to be a good game. It's made to be a game that's like LP bait, basically. In like today's terms,
basically.
And I mean, I'll admit, I still like it for like existing. I appreciate that it exists. I've played it a few times. I at least have some amount of fun with it. But it's not a good game. It's just not.
Whip points out Super Mario Bros. In chat, and that game is awful as well. But it actually has a reason to be because it was like the first of its kind.
Yeah, Nintendo didn't know what they were doing, obviously, and there was if you'll read articles about it, there's a ton of thought put into the level design that I can like appreciate, but I
did appreciate like exactly how they had to make the game, especially when they brought out the graph paper. The graph paper is amazing. I will always think the graph paper is the most amazing fucking thing.
People who design levels on graph paper like just make me smile because that's awesome.
That was just amazing, and it's amazing that they still had it to talk about it around when Mario Maker was coming out.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm glad. Obviously, I can't say I'm not glad that Super Mario Bros. Exists. It's important to the history of gaming, but I can.
It's important, but it's awful.
I can still not like it, basically.
Also, shout out to Kayan's game that he's making, the creator of I Want to Be the Guy, because he's making an actually good game, as it stands.
What's Kayan working on now?
Oh, it's this neat little like Castlevania kind of looking game, and I
feel like I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what it's.
I think it's like After Earth Prologue or something like that.
I think I've talked with somebody about it. I'm sure, but I don't think I paid it much mind.
Let me see. I'll find it.
It's neat,
apologies for my keyboard. There we go. Brave Earth Prologue.
Kayan briefly worked on Guy Gaiden as like a sequel, as like an official quote-unquote sequel, and that game I will admit is better and more interesting than most fan games anyway, but it's still made to be LP bait, so it's not like a great game objectively speaking, but that's fine.
So you don't get to fight a giant Mike Tyson?
Oh, you do. You fight a giant. What's the name of him? Bull something.
Bull.
Yeah, that's one. It's like a direct homage to that fight too, but better.
Here we go, I
remember
found
Bold
it.
Boy.
Braver Prologue. So you can look at it on Cayenne's website and look at the screenshots and whatnot. The screenshots just, God, art style in the game look amazing.
Oh shit.
It's just, as somebody who loves Castlevania 1, I've never looked more forward to the game than I've looked forward to, like, Braver Prologue. Because it looks like
God, oh
Castlevania
my
1.
God.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
It's on Steam Early Access. It's going to come out, like, any day now, honestly. Like, Cayenne's the kind of person that I think that wouldn't announce a game until it was, like, a week from coming out for the release date.
Yeah, I've always gotten that impression. I really like the character design. It's very interesting.
Character designs are awesome.
Well, I lost my motorcycle, so I'm just going to let myself die. And game over at the same time, too.
I am heavily looking forward to playing as, like, the Lady Knight with, like, the big frickin' badass frickin' armor and, like, the huge-ass sword. Just looks amazing.
Yep.
You have a fondness for the booty, don't you?
I mean, don't we all?
If I had a fondness for the booty, I think I would go more for the character who was, like, less clothed, let's say.
I feel like what I've seen so far is that Braver faces the same, like, less exaggerated, obviously, but, like, similar character design problems as Wings of V, except they're not explicitly designed to be, like, basically fetishized. Like, they're definitely more interesting, but I feel like there's something to be said for, there's not a lot of variance in, like, body type or anything. And that's fine. Not every game is going to be that. And I do appreciate the character designs, but it's like, you know.
It does go into, like, the big debate as of recently about tall, slender women being, like, the only thing that you can actually play as in Braver.
I mean, like, I'm glad that more games are featuring more variety in just like protagonists and such in general. I feel like that's like the next, I guess, point of focus that many devs aren't paying attention to, but I definitely appreciate what's there now. And I do like the character designs in Brave Earth.
It looks great. I'm still going to play it, but I will
Yeah,
also say
definitely.
that it could be more creative. But what's there is good.
Yep.
Oh no, did I disconnect again?
No, I can
Okay.
still hear you just fine.
It's just, you two go silent
Loud
every
and
now and then.
clear.
I'm just like, especially like your mic blipped out.
I run
Really?
out of words every now and then.
And I
Okay,
just,
speaking of my mic, if I sound any different from last stream, it's because I got a new one.
awesome.
It is a blue snowball, and I paid like $38 for it, and it's pretty dang good.
Nice.
Yeah, you were talking about that last stream, I believe.
About buying one? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think that was like a week and a half ago, or maybe?
Probably. Look at the chat.
Did I disconnect? Is my mic muted? That's Whip. Whip has been having this hilarious problem where Discord just mutes him every now and then.
Discord has some problems with that.
It's the very first time that I've ever heard a problem about it, honestly.
I get that all the time in like my main Discord server. People will frequently be like, "Oh, it's not picking up my voice anymore. Oh, I can't hear you guys anymore. I guess I have to close every Discord process and reopen it. Oh, I have to restart my computer to get this working again." And like, Discord is a billion times better than Skype, but it is facing its own problems.
Oh, Lily, while we're on stream, you know what? How about a live reaction?
Uh-oh.
Because you could totally just watch, like, the trailer for Brave Earth. 'Cause there's actually an even better, like, just an edited together trailer. Just watch it muted and just enjoy what's going on there.
Yes.
Even though the song is kick-ass.
Yes. I know, I'm boring you with my gameplay, and I finally beat the mini-boss.
Hooray!
Jerk.
Yeah.
I'm really...
I believe
really-
in you, Maiku.
I'm
I
really
never
glad Kane
stop
doesn't
believing
have
in
YouTube
you.
Avatar.
But
Alright, I really
I'm
like
just
how fluent these animations are.
Oh yeah, so good.
Ooh. The bosses look very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
I think my only complaint thus far is that the character HUDs don't really work with the rest of the aesthetic. But everything looks really nice.
Actually, I'll
Very
stay
fluid
with
frame
that
rate
flow.
and animations.
Cayenne, I think, is really good at what they do. Like I've been reading up on like their blog posts and what they talk about, and reading about like how they like mod their NES to like output better video. Just they seem like a really knowledgeable person. So I'm expecting great things from it. Honestly,
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna stream it for sure when it comes
Just
out.
I should probably do that as well. Actually, just watching that looks very good. I'm gonna be as nondescript as possible. No, really though, like very beautiful. The gameplay looks like astonishingly interesting for a Castlevania. Like,
I'm just looking forward to so many games that are coming out right now. There's so many good games
there's a
coming
lot
out
of
right now.
yeah.
We're not getting in the hat in time until next year, unfortunately, but still a hat in time. I think it's gonna be.
Time I've heard a lot of
I
good things about.
thought it was already out.
Oh no. What you might be thinking of is that there's like an alpha version that's
Yeah.
out for Kickstarter backers.
That's when I heard a lot about it mostly. There's also Cuphead is in development right now.
I'm not as interested in Cuphead as I was when it was first announced, because the more I thought about it and the more I looked at trailers, I was like, this actually doesn't look difficult or fun particularly. Like there's not enough interaction.
About Cuphead that like my opinion on it right now is that I haven't seen enough. The gameplays that I've seen of like the alpha stages that it's in right now, they don't look engaging enough. But
yeah.
I can say like the concept is definitely there. The art super is there, and like the
I just worry
from what I
that
can
it's
tell,
just
like
good art and not actually a good game.
yeah, like from what I've seen of like the character movements and everything, that all looks fine. But like what I'm most concerned about right now is that the gameplay just looks very stale, and like the
Okay. Let's see.
all right, Sergeant Whip sees it.
All right. I never had this problem before until this OBS update.
I don't think it's an OBS thing, because I could hear your voice was cracking up on Discord too.
Yes, absolutely. It was definitely
Definitely
cracking
an
up.
issue. If not,
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
but,
a PC
but
issue.
the thing is, it's never happened before until that OBS update.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess it's possible it's related, but I kind of doubt it. I've had streams drop on occasion just from like CPU usage, but I don't think that's really a.
Hey, Mila.
Just...
How's it going? Hey, Salmon is in the chat now.
Hey, Salmon, what's up?
Are we back, by the way?
Yeah, we're definitely back.
Oh, okay. All right. So as I was talking about, I am really happy about the fact that the release dates for two of the games I've most been looking forward to have been announced. We have Creepy Castle, which has got a rock-solid release date set for Halloween, absolutely coming out, after getting delay after delay after delay, which was quite sad, but I'm happy that's coming out.
Still waiting for that delicious gyro. Okay.
Salmon is in forever need of a delicious gyro.
Yes.
And Owlboy got a rock-solid release date.
I've heard good things about Owlboy. I haven't seen very much of it though.
Owlboy you will hear a lot about once it's actually released. Like,
I'm
that's
sure
the
I
kind of
will.
game that is just gonna fucking hit the scene by storm. Like, it's gonna get as much press as, like, Undertale it did. Like, there's just too much
That's a
work,
very
like,
large
put into that game.
Thank you, Mila.
Too much work put into it. Like,
Owlboy is a delicious gyro of video games.
like, the music has a lot to it. The graphics look
Yeah.
amazing. Like, they're Metal Slug graphics on an actually interesting game.
Metal Slug, you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
Metal
that's
Slug
really
is always
cool.
praised for its freaking pixel art, and I definitely feel that, like, Owlboy competes with that at the very least.
That's exciting because Metal Slug is very beautiful. Just like the background work in those games and like the fluency of like everything in that, like every animated object in that game is just
Only held back by the sometimes lag.
yeah.
The hardware that they
The,
were making it for couldn't quite handle.
there's that, and there was like the console releases for like the collections actually had like input lag on a lot of the games, which makes them really hard to play, as you know, frustrating and you know, arcadey as they already are.
That's a game that just needs to like be ported for like today's
The thing is,
hardware.
I want a Metal Slug-like game that is made to be beaten, and reasonably so, because they're arcade games, and that shows 1,000 times too much in the
Absolutely.
because it's just way too easy to die, and the whole thing is built to be basically a coin fetcher.
You'll actually, I don't know if you've seen this, but in the feminism scene in general, they've been really like pushing the idea that there should be more difficulty settings in more games for that very reason. Just so that
There's that, yeah.
you can always beat a game no matter what your skill level is like.
Mm-hmm. I've heard like a lot of complaints from certain people of like difficulty settings need to find a better way to operate than just like selecting once at the beginning of the game, simply because like stigmatism of really easy difficulties makes like some people just not want to select them, and like going with a difficulty and not knowing what you're going to get into can be really unfortunate sometimes. But like I feel in general like everybody deserves to be able to
Beat a game and see a game to the through, and be
experience
able to experience
the
the story
entire
of the game.
Right. And I feel like that doesn't apply to every game, because there's stuff like, I mean, this is going to be a horrible example just from like an objective standpoint, but like Battletoads is obviously meant to be a game that's frustratingly stupid. Or like Super Meat Boy is just supposed to be a hard game that you have to get good to beat. But neither games have like interesting stories or anything. When you're going into like an RPG or like a very thought through, almost like I guess I could say cinematic experience, people, even if you're not very good, you deserve to be able to experience the whole game, especially if you paid for it.
So, Super Meat Boy, I think it would be hard to implement like a difficulty setting for, but Battletoads, I can very easily see like a difficulty setting being a thing, because a lot of the difficulty of that game has to do with just how much damage is thrown at you.
Brethren
how...
has shut off the air supply. I
Oh,
am
man.
slowly suffocating.
Oh dear.
Find Mila.
I'm trying
Also,
to find Mila.
Battletoads could just be like a better game in general, but
This is true. I wonder if anybody's ever gonna like ROM hack Battletoads and make it.
Hey, Mila,
Good.
come here, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me,
I think-
thank you.
I feel like ROM hacking Battletoads would be really difficult because all the stages are built really specifically. I don't
Fair
think it's
enough.
impossible, but
I
like
I just imagine like a similar thing like that guy did with Castlevania 2, to where he fixed like all the myriad of problems.
yeah. Castle, I don't remember the name of the ROM hack, but like the thing about that was that it was made like, even then that game still isn't great, but like it doesn't have as many like game-breaking things. It's not impossible to tell
great.
what you're supposed to do anymore.
Yes.
It fixes that aspect of it. I feel, again, like from what I said earlier about Metal Slug, I feel like somebody could do that with Battletoads too. Like make a game that feels reminiscent of it, but isn't built to be frustrating and stupid.
That's basically what Cayenne is kind of doing with Braver of Prologue, I think, because he's actually implementing various difficulty levels for his Castlevania-like. And Castlevania 1, there's only the one difficulty level, and it's stupidly hard.
The combat actually interesting from what I've seen in that trailer, because like I'm gonna be honest, I like the first, well, I guess 2 is an exception. I like Castlevania 1, 3, and 4. I think they're fun games to an extent.
Absolutely.
I don't think they're all that interesting once you understand what you're doing. The level to level, they introduce new enemies, and sometimes, especially in 4, they introduce new mechanics. But generally, it's just like you know what you're going to get into, and each level is just a challenge that you have to surpass. And there's nothing strictly wrong with that, but it gets...
Oh no.
There's not very much variance. From what I've seen of Brave Earth, it's like you've got multiple weapons, you've got like different ways to go about combat, and that is interesting to me.
A little bit. Like
It's like what Castlevania 3
1
did, but more exaggerated.
Castlevania 1 has this deliverance to its design that I really, really dig, though. Like,
Yeah,
just
no, it
little
does
teeny
what it's
tiny
trying to-
touches that are just kind of amazing. Like,
Yeah,
the fact that they give you, like, a holy water weapon, like, right before you come upon, like, this skeleton that's below the staircase. So it makes a lot of sense to throw holy water down there before you actually go down.
Right. And it reminds me kind of Mario 1 in that sense, where like it's very deliberately designed and it does what it's trying to do very, very well. But that's not going to appeal to everyone, I guess.
Like how in the Frankenstein level, like you get in the very middle of it, like the holy water, which is a completely OP weapon to use against Frankenstein. But the idea is that you have to like keep the holy water through the entire level up till you get to him, and that's a reward for being good enough at the level to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, I love Castlevania 1's design so much. I could talk about it for days. Like it's just an amazing
I
design
definitely
game.
agree that there's a ton of thought put into it that shows through, and like again, it's designed very deliberately and it does that extremely well. And that's
no,
like
it's Serpentine.
absolutely worth praising. Oh no, not Serpentine.
Serpentine has red eyes.
Also, Whip asked this a while ago. Sorry, Whip, but I did not play Alien Soldier for the Mega Drive. Although I probably should, because I want to play like every single game that was ever made for the Genesis, because it's like one of my favorite consoles.
You should play Contra Hard Corps.
Should, I suppose. Run and guns aren't my favorite, but I could play it.
I think that's a really, I guess I shouldn't say good, but a very, very fascinating game. There's a lot of like, I think it's like, I guess I could say it's like,
you're right, Whip. You're so right. You just telegraphed that, didn't you? Whoa, Nilly.
my perception of Contra 4 or Hard Corps is that it's like the height of Contra. Like, the way those games are made, again, is kind of arcadey, and that shows through a lot in that game, which is why I don't super enjoy like just regularly playing it. But it's beautiful. The music is so good. There's like different paths you can take. It's very, like, I watched a Let's Play of it multiple times, I'm sure by now. It's just really cool to watch other people play it and just like, I guess even just like a long play, just to like see everything the game has to offer is super cool, but it's definitely frustrating on your own.
Fair enough. Good luck on this boss, by the way, Maiku. I just barely reloaded the stream to see where you were.
You still dropping frames?
It's smooth on my end. I think it was just a hiccup, man. Like I got.
Probably.
It's an internet hiccup. It happened to me, it happened to you.
We all get hiccups sometimes. I had hiccups earlier today.
I know, right?
God damn it. That was really convincing too. It's like I'm really there.
It's just because I've had hiccups longer than you have.
The additional 10 years of hiccups experience.
Yes. Well, wait, 20.
Well, 20. Yeah, more like 20.
Stay still, Serpentine. I want to hit you.
But he doesn't want you to hit him. Stop hitting me!
He's like a rowdy child. Just can't sit still.
Reminds me too much of me at a younger age.
Serpentine, eat your Brussels sprouts.
I do eat my Brussels sprouts.
Is that why you've grown so big and strong? Just like Mama always said. Stop being bigger than me. What is this bullshit? Professional.
Damn it, Lily!
I'm sorry. Do you need a minute?
Yes, I do. I died.
I'm so sorry.
I just remembered, man. Apparently, like the Kickstarter backers for Creepy Castle are actually going to get the game a little bit early. I'm going to get that game early. I wonder if I'm allowed to stream it. That'll be fun.
Well, if you do that, I'm gonna stream Shenmue 3.
What?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's totally fine because it'll never come out.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, speaking of that, like that kind of thing, I can't remember for the life of me what the name of it was. There was like the guy who did Symphony of the Night was making a new game
that was like Bloodstained, I believe it was.
Blood something. Any word on that?
I remember seeing footage from Proton John's stream where he was actually playing through the demo that they had released, but I haven't heard like anything else. That game only just barely finished.
It's still live on my end.
Alright.
I don't. It never dropped for me.
Interesting. They're saying that it's actually going to hit in March.
Ooh, huh.
This is driving me crazy. It really is driving me crazy.
Understandably so.
You got to talk to your internet provider, really, Maiku. I really don't think that's OBS. Although maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but the fact that it's interfering with Discord makes me really suspicious of that being a thing.
Yes, that's true.
It just feels like an ISP thing.
Definitely. It's just crappy internet stuff. That's all there is to it, Maiku.
The problem is, it's supposed to be 10 upload and 80 download.
10 upload is not fantastic, by the way.
It could be much worse.
It could be much worse, but it's not fantastic. That's basically like, I think that's almost the minimum to be able to stream.
I should do a speed test again. It's been a while.
Use the Netflix test site.
Really?
So the interesting thing is that like a lot of ISPs have caught on to speed test, and they have basically been like upping your data like just for when you go to that website. Funnily enough, so what Netflix did is they came out with their own speed test, so that if like the internet providers want to like up the speed to that, they would have to update. They would have to up the speed to Netflix, which is actually something they don't want to do. I forget what the reasoning was, but they don't want to do that. So going to like Netflix's speed test is actually a really good idea. That gives you an honest speed test.
Fast.com just gave me 32 Mbps.
That is indeed theirs.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to the one I usually use.
You have to put a link in the chat for me.
Sure.
The one I usually use is speedtest.net.
Nope. I fell down, went boom.
Oh
There.
dear.
I have 30 megabits second. And I believe
Whenever I
that
actually
for
pronounce
streaming you want to be around, I don't know, 15? What the fuck? Like, the minimum for streaming?
Yeah, I'm still getting like 32 on every website here. So that's nice. Oh, 34, 35, 36. How far can you go? That's the download speed anyway. Let's see. Oh dear.
Okay, so your upload needs to be at least 5 megabits.
Yeah, I have 12.2, so.
So, Maiku should be fine. Maiku is fine.
Yeah, I've been able to stream consistently. I don't think he would be having any problems.
The only thing with Maiku's stream is that the bitrate is a little bit low. I wonder what you have it set to, Maiku. Because especially for a...
Alright. This is...
It's apparently back, Whip says.
We can always trust Whip.
I mean, like, at the very least, it's only a hiccup for, like, a minute.
Yeah. It's just...
Absolutely.
This is happening too frequently.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And that seriously bothers me.
Do you have any ISPs that you could switch to, or you are one ISP area? Like, who offers internet in your area, do you know?
Well, we were on AT&T Uverse, and then we switched to Comcast Xfinity.
Ooh. I have Comcast, and it's,
Everybody hates Comcast.
It's not awful, but
it's not good.
Not great, yeah. Like, especially, like, when a lot of areas only have access to Comcast, could be a lot worse, but it's just not fantastic.
You know what's hilarious is that when Google Fiber comes to town, Comcast suddenly can offer a gigabit for $60.
Gee, I wonder why.
It's almost as if competition is very healthy for the final consumer.
Gee,
I'm thinking about moving, and that was one of the things that I tried to, like, push, was just the idea of, like, going to somewhere that has actually good internet.
Yep.
Like, I'm trying to look for, like, houses in, like, Portland, Oregon, because Google Fiber is actually there.
Oh, nice.
If I could move to somewhere that has great internet, that'd be amazing. But knowing my parents, we're just going to move out in the middle of nowhere again, which is actually looking like what we're going to do.
Great.
Right now, we're looking at this place called Strawberry in Arizona.
Strawberry?
It's right outside of Payson, if you know that town at all.
I'm not an Arizonian, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
I basically know about Tucson, and that's it. And I'm not gonna lie, that may only be because I'm a huge Earthbound nerd.
You actually got a 75 whip? Holy shit.
That's really good.
What are you on, Google? Actually, that would be even more. Google would actually have more than that.
Google is such a monolith, man. Just
They
as
really are, but they kind of deserve it at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't mean they have done anything like wrong. It's just amazing how like actually large of a company they are.
Oh yeah, I feel you. They're in like so many areas. It's just kind of hilarious.
I mean, it's working out for them. What can I say? And I mean, if they keep making good things and producing good things for consumers, I'm not complaining.
I mean, like they're getting into like AI. That's gonna be really nice.
Oh yeah. Verizon.
Of course, they have their own competing service to the Amazon Echo.
Yep. I'm a fan of Amazon, but they're not always the best. I've heard they don't. I've heard they don't do. They don't have great employee relations, unfortunately.
Yeah, they suck when it comes to like how they treat their employees. How they treat their customers is another thing.
They are really good at that, at customer relations. Which makes me kind of sad, but you know what, I mean, I guess I can't really complain too much other than just like being upset for their employees in general.
Yeah. There's not a lot that you can do about that. Especially with these companies that are so big that you can't really like stop them from making money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Walmart and Amazon both have the problem where how they treat their employees is shit, basically. And you can't do anything because people are still going to shop there no matter what.
Pretty much. I read something fairly recently that was just a few paragraphs about like just kind of how jobs in America are doing right now, and like the big thing I took away from it is that like companies that treat their employees terribly and give far less than livable wages should be dying because of it. They should be just tanking. But they aren't, because people have so few other options right now that they have to work there. And of course, if they're still making a profit, then they're still going to continue operating as a business, and people are still going to continue being patrons of it. And like, it's a vicious cycle, and honestly, what's going to happen is that companies are going to be taking earnest working class people down with them. And it's terrible. It really is just a vicious cycle. But there's like, from an outside standpoint, there's so little you can do about it.
Basically.
Yeah, whenever my stream buffers a lot, I usually just refresh to fix it.
We do have to keep in mind that Lunatic has said that their internet is really bad.
That too.
But as long as you can stream, and that is okay. I believe in you, Maiku. Believe in me who believes in you.
Believe in the
Oh,
us
God.
who believe in you, which are the
What?
us that exists.
What the hell was that noise?
That
Sounded
was
like a wine
me
glass.
kicking a glass.
Yeah.
Why would you kick a glass? What did it ever do to you?
I didn't mean to. Just at my feet.
Bwarch, we have convicted you for murder. What do you have to say for yourself? I didn't mean to.
The glass deserved it.
Uh-huh.
What's this I didn't mean to crap? I meant to.
I plead guilty.
You've heard about chaotic evil, but have you heard of me?
Chaotic Bwarch? Really? Listen,
New alignment.
I'm gonna try something right quick because I don't know if it's because I'm actually on the stream page and that's what's causing the internet hiccups. So I'm gonna just pop chat out. And
Oh, you
close
should
my
be
stream.
doing that anyway.
Yeah. That's probably what it is. And I'm a big fucking moron.
No,
I don't know about
no.
I generally don't pop chat out just because it helps to be able to see if the stream's tanking or not. I have two laptops, so I stream on one and I have the chat open in another, basically.
I mean, like, the thing that will tell you if it's tanking is OBS.
Yeah, well, generally what happens for me is that I just get to see CPU problems. Like, sometimes I'll get an error prompt that says, like, oh, stream crash, and that's because the CPU got too much, or, like, the game is too intense or something. If it's actually an internet problem, it almost definitely never says anything, at least for me. Like, it'll just kind of, like, stop streaming, and people will be like, oh, the stream crashed, and I'll be like, oh, OBS still says it's streaming, let me restart that.
Did I mention that Bloodstain was slated for March?
Yes, you did.
Yes, it is slated for March.
Nice.
I wonder if I look up for Shenmue 3 if we'll get a release date window.
2017.
One wonders. 2017. I wonder if they'll make that.
I hope so. I like Shenmue.
Shenmue, I'm sorry, like Shenmue 3, it just has like scam written like all over it. It just looks like it's gonna be the next Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9 wasn't a scam, it was just full of people who didn't know what the heck they were doing. And then made a pretty bad game.
With $4 million.
$4 million. Straight down the drain, baby.
A huge part of it is because they tried doing multiple things with that $4 million.
Oh, yeah.
They just made the game that
Bless
it
you.
might have been fine, but then they started trying to make an anime, a cartoon, on the $4 million budget.
Here's what I'm gonna give you, like, just imagine what I'm about to say as like a visual graph, okay? Because I'm gonna explain the Mighty Number 9 developer process to you. Imagine like a Hydra that's just made of money. You cut off one head and then like 30 bad ideas just start pooting all over the place.
Poot.
Putin's a good word.
Poor Vladimir.
The unfortunate.
Not poor Vladimir.
That's the only time I'll say anything. I'll sympathize with Vladimir.
It's the only time I'll be able to empathize with Vladimir.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, Lily,
But yeah, like, they didn't know what they were doing, and they tried to do too much with it at once. The whole thing was just kind of a disaster. And like, on the one hand, I'm kind of glad my number 9 exists for the sake of like they actually finished it. But on the other hand, it could have just not happened, and that would have been fine. I didn't even really have any interest in it when it like was first, like when the Kickstarter came out. I was like, it's Mega Man, but it's not Mega Man. I don't care. But to be fair, I was also like a child at that time still.
so like the big thing was I was really like rooting for them because it was like, oh, the Mega Man fans. I mean, like they're so sad that like Mega Man Legends 3 got canceled. Oh, and then here comes like the original creator with like a Mega Man clone, and it looks like it's gonna be good. And like they were really happy because they haven't gotten a Mega Man game in fucking years.
Come on, get happy.
I
That was
remember
really
reading
sad.
a quote from him that was like, "We had forgotten how hard it was to make a video game."
Really?
That's something he said, yeah. And I remember
Oh
when
my
he
God.
got a lot of backlash when it was released. They said, "It's better than nothing" was basically their big quote. From that.
That was a mistranslation.
What was it?
Yeah, that was a big misconception, which was very unfortunate because now it's in public consciousness as like fact.
I mean, I still find it funny anyway, but I'm curious as to know what was actually meant.
Absolutely. Because I mean, like, I imagine it happens a lot, honestly, because you have these
Oh,
Japanese
yeah.
developers that always have translators, and the thing is that things can definitely like be lost in translation.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, a thing about foreign languages, especially with very culturally different ones like English and Japanese, every translation is an incorrect translation, and it can be very easy to mess up very badly.
I saw this interesting post on Tumblr where they were talking about how you less want to like make a direct translation and make something that will be like valuable in like the culture
Right, yeah,
that's being
I've read
translated
that.
to.
I've seen that a few times on my Dash. It's very, it was very eye-opening for me because
Damn it! No! 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 No!
You
there's
gotta
a lot
stop
of...
staying on the edge, Maiku. He's pushing you off for a reason. Although I think you're actually trying to exploit him. So,
Oh,
oh my
oh,
god,
you made
good
it
job.
back. Nice.
I forgot about Carol's wall climbing ability.
But yeah,
I am such an idiot. Then again, you all know that.
Well,
But you,
I deny it, but I know it.
but you
Wow,
put
that
up
was
with me
really rude.
anyway.
I didn't mean that at all. I don't think you're an idiot.
Like one thing that the poster in question talked about was how like
Okay.
a character said like "I love you" at one point, and they actually changed
Finally.
that for the Japanese translation because like that specific phrase in Japanese is said like much later in a relationship,
Oh,
and that's just
interesting.
really interesting.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Every language has so many different cultural associations and like especially with Japanese, there are like dialects and specific ways of speaking that just don't translate at all. And like it's less about making a direct translation and more about making something that will convey the original text and make it meaningful to another culture.
Okay, Bwarch and Lily, I think this is gonna be it tonight.
That's an odd place to end it, man. That's right before the final boss.
Yeah, well,
You probably
I
need a
don't-
whole stream to tackle that,
yeah,
don't
yeah, that, and I'm tired of OBS crashing and
we?
doing this crap on me. I just don't want to go through that again.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
After beating Super, because wait a minute. Oh wait. Oh, I don't have to fight Mila as Carol, do I? I don't know. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I am just gonna say that. Yeah, we're done. Anyway,
All
thanks for those who stuck by with all the technical difficulties and whatnot. I appreciate that. Lily, thank you very much for joining the stream. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And Bwarch, thank you very much for joining the stream. It's always a pleasure, and I appreciate it.
It was a horrible time. I didn't enjoy a single second.
Damn it, Bwarch, you messed up your lines again.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Maiku.
All
It was a
right.
fun time.
All right, and I thank you all very much in the chat, especially Whip and Lunatic Quark for sticking around. And I want to give a shout out to No Lynch again, just because. Anyway.
You're all troopers.
Yes. Anyway, thank you very much. Remember that there's someone out there that cares about you no matter what, and I'm going to end the stream now.